right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Augustine. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Well, I'm doing better right now because I'm stationary, but I was running from the rain. That's why my entire place has moved. What I was telling, yeah, this is my daughter. She
Hello.
heard me talking, and then she's like, "Yay, who are you talking with?" She got on. Voila. So yeah, we're improvising right now. That's why Joyce is joining us. She's gonna
Yes.
be helping us with a clone and chill.
Hola. It's one of the two words I know in Portuguese, so I will I will,
And
I will
it's
practice.
beautiful because it works also in Spanish. So it's like hola
Absolutely.
in Portuguese and hola in Spanish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, so for everyone in the chat, hi Arnaldo, hi Roberto. Yes, I'm here. It's good to see you, Roberto. Well, see you, not yet, but if you wanna, well, yeah, maybe we can do that. First of all, if anyone wants to jump in and like stream with us, I'll share the link in the chat. So in the comments, you should see it appear in the comments. And
Arnaldo is asking if I'm Brazilian.
yeah.
Claro que eu sou brasileiro. Tô fazendo toda quarta-feira office hours, tá? Live tira dúvidas, hein? That's it. That was my little Brazilian introduction.
Perfect. Perfect. And yeah, so big storm where Agustin is based, so you had to drive away to find some Wi-Fi, and we weren't
Yeah,
sure how
exactly.
stable the Wi-Fi would be,
That's why
so
they're like my house was flooded and I had no energy. That's why my beautiful face is not like in the best
it's not
mood
it's
right
not
now because I,
lit
I
like
don't have
a
my lights, my camera. So I am in a family member's house and there's dogs and there's children. That's why I asked Joyce to be like my to co-host this event with you guys.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, so maybe I can share my screen. I'll let you handle the chat because I don't have my two
Yes.
screens in my setup, so I won't be able to see. But
Yeah.
feel free to interrupt
I'll
me
handle the chat.
anytime. And let's see, what do I want to share? I think I want to share this window to get started. And yeah, let me minimize this. All right. So yeah, the plan is, I mean, maybe Agustin, I don't know if you introduce all of this every time
I
or
actually do a little bit faster now, right? Because some of you already know me, but basically is introducing the event. So the goal of this event is to create something together inside of WeWeb, to have a scheduled time every Friday. So we sit down and build something fun, right? And it's an experimental event. So we take a lot of input from you guys in order to make it better. Like on the first time we did this event, I created a lot with AI, and on the second, I was like, okay, Agustin, can you use a little bit less of AI? Perfect. So we did 100% manual building, right? So we're always taking into consideration your updates, guys. Yeah, I'm Brazilian, web designer. I was former head of customer success of a Brazilian no-code school, and I have one daughter and three dogs that are going to be barging through the door every single second. And so that's me. And we're going to be building a product hunt. And Joyce, most of you already know her, right? But if you want to introduce yourself.
yeah, I mean, I'm half French, half American, based in Paris, France, and yeah, do lots of different things. Also, I'm currently doing the live stream with my dog lying next to me. So, but yeah, super excited about this. So, Product Hunt Clone, let's give it a go. And I think so. Yeah, for people who don't know Product Hunt, I mean, this is Product Hunt. Maybe you can share a link in the chat. But the idea is you can upvote a product, or you can remove your upvote if you want to. You can leave a comment. Anyway, voting system. And yeah, I think we should start from scratch, right?
Yeah, the best step would be like the way I do it, right? I just go with the steps of what we're gonna build in in
Yep.
in
Okay.
in, in Scala Draw, but that's
Okay.
my way of doing it, right? Like I like a
No, but
visual way, or
yeah, I can run you like through the way we think we're gonna do this, and we may improvise, but the idea is we're gonna create a WeWeb project where the first thing we do in WeWeb is to set up a Supabase sign up form and login form so that we can already connect our WeWeb to a Supabase project. And the first thing we'll do is sign up as a user of our own app. That'll be the first step. Then we'll create the second step will be to create like two tables in Supabase. One with the list of products. So basically the list of, it might be Inker, Surrealist, Ursa, Tensor Lake. And the second table will be a list of votes. And that will basically be a join table. I can show you kind of the end result because Agustin prepared something earlier, so we will start from scratch. But I can show you a little bit the end result so you get an idea.
So yeah, what I do sometimes, I have the backend already ready, so we're more, so we have more time to
Okay,
build, right?
okay,
So but the thing
we
is,
can do.
since you are invited to this project, I'm not sure if you can one click connect with the Supermaze API.
We'll see. We can try,
Yeah,
but so we have three tables. This table is actually not useful at this stage, so we probably won't look into it. But it's a good thing to know. Actually, let me share. Let me find the YouTube video for you. I'll look for it in the academy. Um, mm, yeah, I think this is a super helpful video to know about if you're gonna be working with Supabase. We won't cover it today, but I think it's if you want to build with Supabase, it will be useful, and I'll explain a little bit why. So we have three public tables: products, votes, which are the two that we're going to use today. So this is the list of products that are going to be displayed, and this is the list of votes. And you see that the votes is basically a join table, so it's just foreign keys. And I think you mapped it out here. Yeah. So we have a user table that is hidden in the auth schema of Supabase here. Right now we have three users, Agustin and myself, and Agustin is in there twice. And then we have, but because it's in the auth schema, we don't have access to when we need to interact with this table, we don't have access to everything. So that's why the recommended approach for Supabase, at least the approach that they recommend, is creating a profiles table that is synced to the users table in the auth schema, and have that in the public schema. But it can be a bit complicated to set up, which is why I shared this video here.
yeah. Basically, we just I created it because we didn't know how much time we were gonna have. But
Mm,
if you're building like a proper app, the best way is to have like a user table, so you can have like a bio, right? So you can have a profile picture, so you can fill it up
yeah,
with more stuff that you can do
yeah.
on the off table.
Yeah, because in the auth table, you would do that in the user metadata, which is here, but then it's a JSON. And, if you have a lot of metadata, it can get, annoying to work with that. Okay, back to the public table. Okay, so I'll create a blank project and call it product hunt. All right, to skip. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to plugins and connect Supabase. And let's see if I can do that. Failed to load plugin Supabase. Well, let me try. Okay, connect Supabase. So let's see if I'm allowed to do that or not. Looks like I am. Agustin's org. Okay. Ah,
Yeah,
no, I do not. All right, so let me send you. I'm gonna send you the link to the editor in Slack so you can access it and do it on your side,
oh yeah,
maybe.
okay.
Oh,
But I need to access it through. Okay.
and just while you do that, yeah, the idea is when you here you just click connect. I don't have the sufficient permission because it's not my Supabase account. So Agustin is gonna do it on his side. But the idea, you just basically say yes, and it will be connected. Are you able to access my WeWeb project? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's done. Try refreshing.
Ah, okay. All right. Continue. Select project, and this is this project, the product hunt. And let's go ahead and continue. Okay, we don't need to set up real time at the moment. And I think what we can do right away is create two collections. We're going to create a collection with the list of products. So it's a super base collection, and we basically want the information from the table called products. And yeah, we want all of them. Let's see. Boom. Okay, cool. And then we want, yeah, we want all the votes. So let's go and get Superbase and get the votes. And I'm just thinking, do I need everything? Probably don't need the created app, but let's just leave it. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our two collections. That just means that we can access data, really. So you can see it this way. If you're a developer, this might be more comfortable for you, where you can see the objects this way, or you can dig into them one by one like this if you prefer. Someone joined us in Restream, or no? I heard a bloop. I thought
Yeah,
someone.
and immediately left. She joined and left.
Oh,
Yeah, you can go on.
so sad. Well, okay, so let's see. Do we want to? I think I hadn't realized that you already created the tables before. So I think instead of starting with the sign up, I'm going to start with a UI just to show you quickly how you can display the data,
Hmm.
and then I will add the login page. What do you
But yeah,
think, Gusti? Yeah,
yeah, because I think maybe we need to check the RLS from the
yeah.
table, right?
Mm.
So but I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's kind of
because
public for everyone. Everyone can see, but not everyone can create. Maybe.
yeah, I think everyone can see because right now I am not logged in. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not logged in because I haven't set up auth here. So, but since I tried with this one, maybe there's still my cookie somewhere. Anyway, we'll see. All right, how do you want to do it? Should I like prompt AI
Yeah,
with the screenshot or prompt AI with natural language? What would you prefer to see? Maybe
yeah. I
the
think
chat has a
a
preference or
screenshot could be nice.
screenshot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh, with all of it, try just a section. If you give all of it, it's gonna create a bunch of variables. Like it's gonna try
Okay, so maybe just that. The, or I don't even need the top bar actually. I can
yeah,
just
just
I'll do the top bar
voting.
myself.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
voting feature. That's the thing we're more
Okay.
interested in.
Okay, cool. That's the one we're testing with. Build this.
Amazing prompt. Build this.
Yeah, I stopped saying please because apparently it consumes more token and it hurts the planet. So, I try.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
All right, it creates a variable. And let's see what it comes up with. I've had mixed results with images. It's my favorite way of prompting for UI,
Hmm.
because I think most of the time it works super well, but sometimes I don't know why it's not amazing.
Yeah, I like to start with it and then I modify
Yeah,
it a lot, basically.
yeah, yeah. Same.
another thing that I like to do when I prompt with images or with a play with the AI is one of the first things that I change is I wanted to repeat the things directly from my data source, right, from the
Mm.
collection, and not with the JavaScript object, which is trying to do. Because if I change one thing
Ah,
down the line, it doesn't know how to fetch it.
yeah,
It's kind of, oh, all right, it worked. There's a
yeah,
voting. There's a
yeah.
voting button.
Looks pretty cool. I already used the
Uh,
same text. That's pretty nice.
Maybe we're
Uh,
not gonna use the do comments. That's hardcore.
yeah, we won't do that today, but we can leave it for now. Let's see. So one thing I really like to do with AI, I think it's super important to do is to just before doing anything else. So like for example, right now it's offering to create a workflow. I always prefer to just kind of take a moment to figure out what it did. For example, it created a variable called products. I am going to immediately delete it just to clean up my project and bind my own data. I don't know if you do
Yeah,
the same, Agustin, or
I do it because that's the
yeah.
thing. When it creates variables, it always wants to use them. So it fetches something,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
inputs it
Okay.
into that variable, and then it uses that variable to create like repeater groups
Okay.
and things like that. And sometimes down the line, I get confused and I try to get back to the
Yeah.
data source, and it was inside a variable. So it's
Yeah. Yeah. But that said, I think it's pretty cool to have those tags. I don't know if we have that in our do we have tags? I
no, we
think
don't.
maybe we can add tags. That could be in a thumbnail URL. Uh Let me see if I'm just gonna remove that one so I stop clicking on it. Oh, well, actually, no, because I wanted to keep it in case I got stuck at one point. But I'll just move it elsewhere so it's not a. Am I showing super base right now?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
showing.
okay, so I'm still showing the right window. Good. So do we want to do that? How do they structure it? Is it a. Hmm, it's just an array. Actually, I kind of want to do that. If it's all right with you, I want to create a table with the categories.
Sure.
And let's add name. And then a foreign key from. No, that's not what I want to do. No, just name. Except again. Ah! Um, and what? Okay, that's weird. Maybe I can't do that with my.
Maybe, yeah, with the,
Oh
because
no, it's
I
okay.
could use my project. It worked.
It
Okay.
looks okay. No, it's maybe it was just a super base bug, and now I just love when other products have bugs because it reminds me it's normal. So I get a instead of being frustrated when a product
Mm-hmm.
has bugs, now I'm just like, yeah, I get you.
It happens to the best
It
of
happens.
us.
Add new row. Okay, productivity. Mm, And notes artificial intelligence. Let's do that. Mhm. If you have any questions in the chat, by the way, don't hesitate to ask us. And here I'm gonna do categories ID, and it is going to be. Do I need to define allow content? I don't know if it's like if that would be the best practice. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there we go. So it was not what I wanted. Categories, ID.
I was muted and talking to myself.
Oh, that also happens to the best of us. let's see. I haven't done this in a while. No, it cannot be implemented. Okay,
Why?
let me forget. I
What
don't
is
know.
it?
I'll forget about that for now. I think
We're
I
not
think
having tags.
no, I'd like to have them. I really want to have them actually, but anyway, I
But
don't want to. We can circle back to it, but I won't forget them. Uh, okay, so let me here in the layout instead of I'm going back to edit mode, and here it's bound to my list of products. So the list of the products variable that the AI created, and instead of that, I wanted to bind to my collection of products from the Supabase um, collection. And let me see if I can do that. Thumbnail URL. There we go. I think here I'm missing probably the title. Okay, so the name, Tolt. There we go. This is the same. And so this is my list of tags, which I might change afterwards. And comments number. So I don't have any of that at the moment. We can forget about that for now. And then my votes numbers. And my votes, I think I can have already, right? Because I have a collection of votes. So let's see. We can say we're gonna look up our collection of. So we're gonna look up the product ID in our collection of votes. Is that what we're gonna do? And we're gonna look for
maybe I think a better formula is used. Yeah, length or count.
yeah, yeah, because right now it just returns one object. Let me just see. So let me see here. But wait. No, it's I need to roll up. Uh, wait, wait.
So roll
No,
up is
that's no,
actually
no, no, no,
going
no. That's no,
to.
no. That's not what I want. Sorry, you're right. So, what were you suggesting in terms of as a formula?
Yeah, it is in order to find the we have to find the length. So the formula we need is length, right?
Yeah.
Open the thing, and then inside we do a filter by key.
Oh, you want to do? Ah, right. You do a filter by key. Okay. Yeah. So let's do a filter by key. Boom. Array. We get the votes, and if product ID, oops, sorry, needs to match the our current product ID. So now we have three, and here we have two options basically. Either I can
Yeah, let
just do set.
me. We
Sorry.
can slow down a little bit and try to
Yeah.
explain
Sorry.
the
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
formula.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The filter by key, it's awesome that WeWeb already explains to us what it is that it does and what variables it expects, what numbers, what inputs it expects, right? So even in the when it explains, it says that it's returning a new array with only objects where the first array, the value from the for the first for the array that we are choosing matches what we want in the second value.
Yeah.
um
So
Sometimes.
if so here, for example, you can see that here the product ID is 3. Here it's 3. Here it's 3. Even though in my votes collection, there are items where the product ID is different. So here, for example, the product ID is 2, but we don't see it here because we filtered it out.
Yeah,
How we
so
filtered it out is we
mhm.
said, okay, in this collection, in the collection votes, we're looking for this key, product ID, and it should match this. And this corresponds to the current item we're on.
Yeah,
So,
one step back, even before that, in our
okay.
that's because in our vote tables we have one column where we're basically saying who voted for what, right? Yeah, if you open the votes, you have these two columns that are extremely important. There's product ID and user ID. Uh, this table we created, it manages every single vote in our platform. And the way it does that is it creates a row where this first column is going to say, okay, this is a product we're talking about. Who voted for product 3, product 2, product 4? And then on the second column, it says user ID. So this user voted for that product. This user voted for that product. So those I mean, I think we didn't explain in beginner terms what this table does, right? So it manages every single vote for every single product and every single vote that every user has ever done. So if we want to use this table in a usable manner, we have to create a filter on top of it, right? Like I only want to show items that were voted by Agustin. And for Toto, which is the first product, how many users have voted for it? And that's why we use a lookup array. So we're using a formula that it's going to load the entire array.
Using a
So,
using a filter by key,
yeah,
actually.
filter by key. Sorry,
Yep.
filter by key, and then it loads, and it finds the things we wanted to find.
Yep.
Horrible explanation because I'm not, but it's raining. It's raining. That's my excuse.
But I think it will be clear in a second, because what we're gonna do is just, so here we have a list of three items, but it doesn't help, it just says object object three times. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say dot length, and then we have the number of items. We have the length of the list. So we could do it this way, dot length, or we can wrap this array, this formula, in a length formula. And by the way, you can find all no-code formulas available here. And you can hover over them if you have a doubt. So for example, I was looking at rollup and I was like, oh no, I was mistaken. This is not what I need. And anyway, once we've done this, you see the current value here is 3. But here it says 2. So it says 2 here, it says 3 here, it says 1 here. And that is because here, so item 3 was voted 3 times, product 2 was voted twice, and product 4 was voted once. And if we go to products 4 is placard, and we see that here placard has just one vote. Does that make sense to everyone, or is there anyone in the chat that wants us to, um
Yeah,
yeah, maybe something a
Will is
bit better?
saying that it's cool that WeWeb is doing videos on how to build different products. Yeah, of course. And we also like to play around with it. We like to use it basically, and we invite you, all of you, every Friday to do the same with us and trying to
Yeah,
solve a couple of issues, because that's the thing with WeWeb. There are a lot of ways of doing that one single thing,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's awesome to experiment and try to do things.
for sure. um okay, so we've updated the data. Now it's ours. Let me just delete this variable so it doesn't, I don't need it, so I just that's just a good maintenance tip. It can be even like at the start of a project, if you know that you're not going to use something, just delete it from your project, because if you put it off, you will forget, and then you will wake up one day and curse the past you who didn't clean up as you were building. So let me just fix the UI a little bit. So here you see we have an icon and a number, and they're inside a container. The So one way to think of it, if you're completely new to WeWeb, this may be a little bit intimidating, but basically on the left here, the layout is the equivalent of HTML. So and HTML is like the content, the boxes that are on your page. It's the layout. And then on the right, we have the styles tab is the equivalent of CSS. And CSS is how you style those elements. So here we have a container that has two elements, and the CSS says the direction is horizontal, but we actually want it to be vertical. We want the number to be under the icon. And then we also want, if we look at our design, like this is kind of nice, this square with the little rounded edges. So we would like something like that. So we can do that pretty easily. Um, how should we do it? Actually, let's have a look. Let's inspect how Product Hunt did it. I'm gonna go ahead and have a look at this. And this is a button. That's a good point. Uh, Ours is not a button, and I think we want it to be a button because for accessibility, it would be much better for this to be a button and not just a simple div. Um, so let's fix that
Yeah.
right away,
What
actually.
is your chain of thought for that? Why can't it be just like a link, right? Like an
Yeah.
aid.
So you see here when we inspect the element, it says here, first of all, we have an HTML tag that says button,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have a type that says button. And all of this is very helpful for people who, well, it's very helpful for different reasons. It's helpful to um,
For reading aid,
yeah, for
right?
reading aid, it's especially helpful for navigating. Like if you need some people need to navigate with tabs and all that. So having making sure you use the proper HTML tag is quite important, and it will also, yeah, and it's just also a best practice, web dev
Yeah.
best
No, okay,
practice.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day, you can make everything clickable, but if it is clickable,
Yeah.
it should be a button for.
Yeah, just like, inputs, you want to make sure that inputs are inputs. So here there's search bar, I'm assuming has, yeah, it has an input tag. And so you don't have to do it, like it could work without, but then um you wouldn't have the same experience, and more importantly, people who are accessing the internet through um I don't know what they're called, like readers or
Yeah, yeah,
word.
yeah. Like the
I
text readers,
Yeah,
they
I
are.
the right vocabulary escapes my mind.
Yes.
But yeah, and this will also help you, like for buttons, for example, if you are using the button HTML tag, then you can also use all the functionalities of a button, like disabled, hover, focus, states that are native to, well, that are, I don't know if they're native, but they're
Hmm.
associated to the
Right.
HTML tag. I'm
Let's
not a
make it
pro
a
web
button.
developer, so I'm probably explaining it terribly. But the bottom line is it's a web development best practice and it's important for accessibility. So let's make it a button, and I'm gonna put it here. And what am I going to do? So I have two icons here. Where do I have two icons? Let me go on the button. Boom. Okay, that's why. Um, I'm trying to think because can I add a text here inside my button? Oh, I don't like this. So I guess
So
here I could I could bind the text to. So let me just, I'll copy my formula, boom, and I'll put it here. Okay, and then just remove this, and then here. Do I have the option of making this?
of putting the icon vertical.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think so. Hmm.
I think we gave an entire talk about accessibility, and we're we're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, no, I want to be able to do it. Um, but I'm sure I've had that case before because yeah. but I think I probably had the workaround.
Maybe I think what you gotta do is not use the button tag. You can create a div that is clickable and give it the alt of a button or something like that.
Yeah, 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 I can do that. Hmm. I don't like it, but that's what I'll do. Uh, Trying to think if there's. Trying to find an ugly workaround. let, me, let me see. No. And. Hmm. No. All right. Well. Okay. I'll try to think of a solution. There must be a solution, but I don't want to. I don't want to like hold up like 20 minutes of trying to figure this out. So um, let me try to. I'll just focus on getting the div ready. And I want a square. I think they're using a square.
Yeah.
Yes. And then what kind of a radius? 12. Okay. There we go. And I think I want a little bit of padding. Do they have padding here? Or is it? No, they just make things small. Let's see. What is this? Um, I'm looking for the text size, which I probably should have looked for. Um, okay, that's fine. Just gonna make this much smaller. Here, can you hear my dog snore?
Yeah, I'm hearing like a
Yeah, it's my it's my dog snoring. Uh, okay, and a little border because otherwise the radius doesn't really make any sense. Let's have the border here. And let's just use, I am going to save this in my library.
mm,
There we go.
fancy.
Fancy. Create this gray here. The reason I'm doing it is because I actually don't like it very much, so I think I will probably want to update it, and it will be easier if I do it, if I saved it in the library. Uh, and there we go. Okay, so that doesn't look great actually. Am I missing something? Oh no, it's okay. Um, okay, I think we're in pretty good shape. So what do we need to do? We need to add the interaction, right? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe no. So the login and the sign up. Let's see.
Yes.
So basically, I'm gonna say we kind of did that. That's fine. Oops. Oh no, it does only that. Okay, so let's say this is done. This you actually created before. Same here. And so I'm going to go ahead. Thank you. And I'm gonna go ahead and set up the login since I'm already a user in the auth table. If I can remember my password. Okay, I'm gonna create a login page. And maybe we can vote in the chat, like who wants to do it with AI and who wants to do it manually.
What do you want to do?
uh, the login form.
Well, but I mean, you have it all built with the.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but it's not especially pretty. Just yeah, just so I don't go too fast. I went to plugins. The first thing I need to add the Supabase authentication, so I'm adding it manually here. My account is already connected, so I can continue. And I only need to select a project. And then I need to. Oh, well, I don't have to do that right now. Do I? No, I don't have user roles at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, this I hadn't seen that. That's pretty cool. Okay, but I don't need them right now. Okay, so on the login page, I am going to just in the add menu, because
Hmm.
I added a Supabase auth plugin, I now have access to a pre-built login form. And here you see there's a workflow, and it's basically pre-built for email and password. So if you have a different type um, of login set up with Supabase, you may want to update it. And here afterwards, we want to make sure we redirect to our homepage.
Yeah.
So, well, you can choose whatever page you want. It's just that in our project right now
Yeah.
we
And
have the
in
homepage.
our home, what I would do is I would create like a temporary solution to show who is logged in,
Yeah,
just to say like, ah, Joyce is logged in with the email, right? Like email is
yeah,
logged in or something like
sure.
that.
So let me show you. So here, yeah, something that I like to show here, the little debugger. By default, you'll be in the logs, but you can go to variables, and you see here that I'm not authenticated, and I don't have any user information. But if I go ahead and try to log in with the beautiful password I created earlier, if I sign, I think it's this one. If I click on sign in, yes, now I am
Oh,
authenticated,
okay.
and now I have information about the user.
Oh, perfect.
And
So
this,
we don't even do the need to do the workaround
we can,
I was saying.
oh yeah, well, we can, I thought you meant having something like this, which we can do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
do like an easy one just for debugging reasons.
Ah,
That's what
okay,
I do when I
okay.
build things. Like, am I
Ah,
logged
okay,
in? Like, I didn't know
okay.
about this variable
Ah,
actually.
nice, nice. And this, you see, like we were talking earlier about the users table versus the profiles table. So the users table in the auth schema in Supabase. And so all of this is from the users table in the auth schema of Supabase. And you can access it, but like only for your own um, for yeah, for you. So for the user who is currently logged in. So if you are, if you're building an HR portal, for example, where you might need to access information from employees, like you want a list of employees from the company, you wouldn't be able if you have the you wouldn't be able to access that information from the auth schema in Supabase. That's why the recommended approach by Supabase is to create a profiles table in the public schema that is synced to the auth schema. Wherein, of course, in the profiles, um, I mean, the reason the users table is very well protected in the auth schema is because some things should never be public.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that was just to show you that everything that you see here is everything that is here. So that is associated with my profile. And so if you, Augustine, you log in, you will see for you, you will be completely unable to see anything related to me. So you won't see my mate data or anything. Okay, so we have
okay.
this. And now because we have this,
We can start working maybe on the voting feature. So that's what we
yes.
needed to be authenticated, because like the voting feature, we're gonna have like the logic behind it. It's gonna be, did you vote for this before? Right? That's the main question. Like, did you vote for this? No, then upvote it, and then yes, downvote it. Right. So you're
Yeah,
able to like up down up down.
yeah,
That's why we needed to be logged in.
yeah. And because we need to be able to fill in this column. We're gonna send this user ID. So here you see my user ID is this. It's the one that starts by EAD. And so you can see that I upvoted these two features. And actually before we do the workflow, I'm thinking One thing I would like to see is which ones I upvoted and which ones I didn't.
Hmm.
So maybe what we can do is um, so let's see. How do I know which ones I upload? Let me just um, I don't want to do here. I'm gonna do it here with this text color. I'm gonna say so. This is where we need a formula that looks for the. So we're gonna. Mm, okay. Let me try to think through what I need. Um, have the list of votes, and in there I have a user ID and a product ID. So I could say uh, I did it earlier, but my brain is freezing.
No, it is
Oh
tough. It
yeah,
is
yeah,
tricky. I spent a lot of time trying to figure that
yeah, yeah.
those things out.
And I could just go and copy paste it, but I don't want to cheat.
Let's
So
yeah, let's
let's try
let's
to
think
think through
about
it
it.
again. Yeah,
So the first thing we kind of
I
need
have
to
my list of
understand
votes, right?
is that list of like the product. It is a repeating product, so that's gonna help us because we need to understand through context that that specific item has certain votes.
I'm trying something. Uh, I'm trying to figure it out. I'll if it works, I'll explain later my logic. uh, and no, that doesn't make any sense. I think. Let me see. Okay, let's see if that. Ah, yes, it kind of works, but it's not clean. I want to clean it up. So you see here it's undefined because it did not find anything. So what I did is I was looking through the list of votes and checking if my user ID, like getting all the votes for myself, um, and then once I get all the votes for me, I check if the product ID that I'm currently on is in there, but it's
Hmm.
not super clean
Another
because here we
thing
have
that
undefined. And in
yeah.
ideally, we want the expected format should be like we want a true or false, more than a undefined. Or here we have an array, an
Yeah.
object. What were you thinking,
Yeah, I was
Agassi?
gonna say you could ask AI and it's gonna do a JavaScript formula that's gonna work.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. So, what would you ask the? Let me just create a.
Well, explain it like you would explain an intern. So we'll say
Yeah.
like create a formula that that's going to return true or false if I already voted for this product.
Let's see. Well done. Let's see. And I did it in no code.
Yeah. Yesterday I experimented with it and I did it in JavaScript.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it gaining conscious?
Um. So, but here it says it's. Oh no, it's not right because it's looking for the product ID. And okay, that's fine. So it will always be true. In here, uh, yeah. So,
What happened?
Mm.
You think it didn't work?
No, no, I'm sure it didn't work. I mean, there's a logical mistake. Like here, it's checking if the product. if the product has been upvoted.
Hmm.
So if it's not zero, but it's not checking if I voted. So let me try to iterate on that. I'm actually really bad at iterating with AI. A current
What
user
you gotta do actually is ask,
upvote.
mention that the logged in user. That's the keyword you
Wait,
gotta use
yeah,
somewhere.
okay. Current logged in user voted. Well, I'll say voted.
Hello, Dimit. Welcome to us trying to figure out the voting system of Product Hunt. All right. So what did you do?
Let's see. No.
What is this? It's trying hard with the formulas.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's not what I wanted. Can I? I want to go back. I want to go back. Let me go back.
There's no
Yeah, there we
undo
go.
button in life, Joyce. We gotta accept
Sorry?
it and move on. There's no undo button.
No, there is. Look at that.
No, I'm
Okay.
joking. Okay,
Um. Wait. So
this is
I
the one
want.
that AI created.
Yeah, yeah. But I just need to check something. So roll up. Blah blah blah. I don't care about this. That's not what I want. Okay. Uh. Can I cheat and remind myself how I did it 2 hours ago?
Yeah, because we did it in two steps actually.
Yeah.
We didn't
Uh.
work on the UI to change if it knows we voted or not, but we went into a workflow. And first of all, we did it in two steps. Like it was easier for us to understand. Like first, we did a filter by key to get all of the votes of that specific item, and
Yeah.
then with that result, it was easier for us to check if the vote existed.
Yeah. Let me just check. Cause okay. So let me. Oh,
Hey Toby, will the project be shared after? I don't know. I don't. I mean, it could be. Right now, it looks like a. It doesn't look like much. We, but I don't know. We'll think about it.
we could probably pimp it up at some point. I think a lot of people ask for our public roadmap to be added as a template, and I shared it with a few people who asked me personally. But yeah. Okay, so this is the formula. Let me just actually break it down so that it's clearer. I'll just paste it here so I don't forget it. Mm, but yeah, let's break this down.
Did it actually work?
Yeah, yeah, because you see now this is a different color if I upvote it or not. So I just choose. Let me just change the colors so it looks nicer. Uh, I'm gonna say so if I did not upvote it, it will be gray. But if I upvoted it, it will be let's say blue. And I'm just gonna change this to. I'm gonna do the same here. And I'm gonna do the same here, except I'm gonna get mixed up because it's a border. And I need to remember. So 1 pixel solid, I think. Uh, I apologize. I'm a little bit. Uh, I will explain. I promise.
Big formula makes brain slow. Me too.
Yeah.
Like it's really, it is.
Does this work?
It's a
It's working.
handful.
Yes.
Did it work?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see, they're in blue because I voted for them, but this one is in gray because I didn't vote for it. Um, and so let me explain the formula. I will explain with this one. It
Yeah.
will be.
I think
easy.
it would be easier if you break it down between
Yeah,
the
absolutely. Absolutely. So let's remove the if. Okay. And actually, let's do that. Uh, just gonna take a screenshot to remind myself. But yeah, basically we have, so first we're filtering the votes for the all the votes for the product we are currently on. So this is what we did earlier to get the, remember, to get the length. So for example, for Tolt, we have 2 votes because we have 2 items. So we take all the votes, then we look for all the votes that have the product ID of the current item. So Tolt.
yeah,
Now we now what we're going to do is we're going to use a lookup formula to check to look for this user ID. So here we have 2 different users IDs. So 2 different users voted for this product. So what we'll say is we'll look up the value, and the value we're going to look for is my ID. What is my ID? Like the current user's ID. And then we're going to say we're going to look for this in this array. So the array that we had so this array here. So this entire formula, the oops, sorry, that's not right. This filter by key, this is an array. We saw before that the current, the return value was an array. And so we're going to look, is this value my user ID? In this array, we're going to look for it in the column that's called user underscore ID. So here we're going to type in user underscore ID.
yeah.
And
So,
like,
so it's
this
gonna
is true.
find the first object that has that same user ID. So
Yeah.
it returned the entire object basically.
Yeah. And if we then wrap this as in an if formula, you can say if, so boom, and let's say true and say false. So here it will be true, like so the if formula, let's say the condition is the first thing, and basically if it's not undefined, um, it will, well, actually,
It will
let's
be
do the
true.
different, let's be explicit. Let's be explicit. So if equal true, then true, otherwise false. So let's be explicit here so that it's not undefined. Um, um, and actually, does that make sense? Like do you think that makes sense for you, Agustin? In the chat, is there anyone who's confused? Because I
No, I
wanted to
think it makes
just,
sense.
okay. So basically, if this is true, so if it returns something, if it's not undefined, then I want this color, the color of the icon, to be blue. I'm going to choose one from the design system. Instead of true, I'm going to say, the value should be this. And otherwise, if it's not true, if my ID is not found, I want it to use gray. And why is it not working? It should be
Yeah,
working.
it is.
No, there we go. Okay, so I should not add the true because it's not true. It's an object.
Okay. So yeah,
Um,
in resume,
yeah,
basically, so we created an entire. What are we trying to achieve for anyone who just arrived? We're trying to make the color of that section dynamic. If I
yeah,
voted already, it's gonna be blue. If I didn't vote it, it's gonna be all gray, right? It's good
yeah,
for UX. And
yeah,
the way to do that is we can do with a formula directly in the object, in the element, which is
yeah.
what Joyce was breaking down for us. And in this case, it's 3 steps in the same formula. So step
Yes.
number 1 is basically figuring out our votes. So sorry,
All the
there was
votes.
a, yeah.
Sorry,
Can you do that? There's a dog.
that's not my dog.
It's mine.
It's yours.
So yeah, first step of this three step formula is figuring out which this
All
product,
the
how many
votes.
votes it had. All of the votes, we're gonna grab all of
Yeah,
the votes of this item.
yeah,
Perfect. Then we set it aside and we encapsulate that with our second step, which is we're gonna go through all of that array, all of those votes, and figure out if any of those votes are mine. That's step two.
yeah,
And three is going to be after figuring out if I voted for it, I'm gonna change color. So if I voted, change to color one, and if I didn't vote, change to color two. That's basically a big
yeah. There we go.
explanation of that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's pretty nice. I'm happy with that. Now the workflow. So how do you should we try to generate this with AI? Or how did
Uh,
you how
the
did
thing is, I tried it before and it
okay, you
did it.
prefer oh, but in
It
JS.
accomplished it, but it did it in
Okay.
JS.
Okay, so let's try to do it manually. Okay, we're gonna create, so I'm on the vote count here, and I'm gonna create a new workflow that is gonna be triggered on click. Upvote or downvote. And the first action will be kind of pass through condition. So is the user authenticated? Because if a user is not authenticated, I don't want to allow them to upvote. It would have two options actually, instead of, because it might be confusing to users. So instead of a pass through condition, maybe I could do a branch, true false, and say is authenticated.
Hmm.
And if they're not, we can do that later. Maybe we won't have time, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll display a modal to invite them to log in. And so the way to check if they're authenticated is just here my condition is authenticated, true or false. Now, if it's true, we want to check if we want to do another branch. We want to check if they already voted the product or not. I guess that's what we want to do, right? Or why is this? This is strange. Huh? Disable that. Refresh my page. Go, go, go. I have no idea why
The
this is
little
grayed out.
plus is not working.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, but you
but
can
this is.
create
Oh no, no,
another
but
and
it's
drag it.
no. Yeah, it's okay. It's because I haven't finished configuring it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't get why it was doing that. But it's because I once I finished this action, uh, yeah. So here we'll do a
Yeah. So inside of here,
fake one.
basically, we're gonna have to create the exact same thing we did for the for the colors, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we can do it in one, or you can choose to do it in two steps. That's what
Yeah.
I did for my brain to
Okay.
to break it down better,
Yeah.
right? And in that way, we can also show to those who are watching that we can grab the result from
Yeah.
action one, right? Like grab
Absolutely.
result from action two,
Yeah.
and I
Okay. So how
yeah
do you want to do it?
yeah. So maybe create one of all first. Create an action that's just like return a value, right? And
Okay.
we do the first formula, the filter by key,
Okay.
which is like the votes
And
data.
to get all the votes, you want all the votes data for a specific item.
Yes.
Okay. So get all the votes for item or product. And so what we'll do is we'll say filter by key
Yeah.
and get all the votes where product ID.
ID. Yeah. It's equal to the one we're repeating.
Okay. Boom. Test. And now we have this.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's for product two. Okay.
And now, as a second step, you can do a lookup and use the answer of that first step, basically. Was it a lookup you did? Let me see.
To So we get all the votes, and then we want to check if the user already voted or not. So, uh,
Yeah, we can check
oh yeah, we
what
get
we did with
okay,
the
okay. So get
color.
okay. I think so. Return value, another value, and what will be um check if user
Vote
voted
exists. Yeah,
for product. Okay, yeah, we can do that.
I think
And
we shouldn't make it a we should make it a true split, a false and true split already, so we can like update database directly with that answer.
okay, so true false. User voted already. Oops. And so here we are gonna say look up the user ID in the previous, so in the result of the previous action in this array. I'm gonna look for the user ID. Oh, is that right? Yes, in the column that's called user ID. Okay. And so if it's true, if the user voted already, oops, let me delete that. Then I want to remove a vote. So I want to delete, um, delete vote or add vote. And here will be an insert. Okay, so if the user voted already, then I want to delete the the ID of their vote in there. And so I need to tell Supabase which vote should be removed. And so how do I get that information? Oh,
I was trying to figure that out.
yeah, because well, then we have to kind of redo the formula that we did before, but we can redo it, no problem. Oh, I know. Let me show you something. That's a really cool thing to know. So here I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna go to actions, and here I'm gonna paste my formula. I'm gonna remove what I don't need, like the if. So hmm, let's see. I need parameters. Mm,
So you're creating a custom formula that we
Yeah,
can
that
change
I
the
can reuse.
parameter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so what do I need to change? Do I need to change anything? I might not. Um, Let me try like this. See what happens.
Okay. So you called it user vote, so we can see
Yeah.
to reuse
Let's.
it.
And it's here from. So in the formulas
Yeah.
for my project. Let's see what happens if I do this. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I need my parameters. Okay, so my parameters are this. I don't think I need to update, so it's probably the item. So product, I'm gonna say product ID, and it's gonna be a number, and I'm just gonna have a test value with this, and
Mhm.
and here here we go. So this is my parameter. Let's see if that works.
Do you think it updates automatically?
It
Yeah,
should.
it already has an answer. It didn't have one before.
And it's weird because I didn't pass any product ID, so I don't.
Well, it did
Uh,
before, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, so because it was inside, but I thought that's why I thought I didn't need the parameter. I thought it would recognize. Let's see. Let's see if this works. It might not. Let's see. So, but then here we want to pass an ID, and right now we're passing an entire object. And the ID that we want to pass is the ID of the vote. So it's this one. If we go
Yeah,
to our table in the list of votes, we want to delete this one. So item 11. So in order to do that here, I'm just going to say dot ID, and you see the
yeah,
current value is 11. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. And well, I know it will work if I do this.
yeah. Because it was going to delete the 11.
Yeah, it
That
was
it
it was
doesn't
gonna,
exist
but
anymore.
it should not exist anymore. But I want to make sure that it also works.
Use
Um,
the fetch
yeah.
collection under it and see if it.
All right. I'll refetch my collection now. So here, if I click, it should go. No, you're right. I'm gonna do my fetch collection before. I apologize to the chat. So whether it's we can do the fetch collection after the loop. So
Yeah.
refetch votes. There we go. So what this is saying is okay, the user is authenticated, we're getting all the votes, we're checking if the user voted already. If the user voted already, we're deleting the item and then we're refetching the votes to make sure that it's updated live here. So let's see if that works. Yay!
Yes, it worked. I was worried for a second.
Trust. No, I never know if things are gonna work or not. Okay, and so for the insert,
That, yeah, the insert is easier because we don't need to. We
no, we
didn't need
just
to get the vote ID, which was the hardest.
so the ID, I don't think we need to update really because it's done, like it's created by Supabase, right? The product ID we need to make sure that we send, so it's this one,
Yeah.
and the user ID we need to make sure that we send, and that is this variable,
Yes.
and that's it. And so we don't need to redo the fetch vote because we did it after the branch. So let's
Yeah.
see. There we go.
Now click again.
I'll click again. Oh,
See why?
did
Why?
oh yeah. Let's see. Ooh. All right, so there's a logical error in our situation. Let's see. What could it be? The voted already. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that this is working without parameters. So let me try something. Uh,
Yeah. So
let's.
Mael is telling us if you don't want to fetch your collection all of the time because you have a lot of data, for example,
Mhm.
you can in your delete or insert endpoint
Oh,
check
smart,
return data and auto update collection.
smart. Return deleted rows and auto update linked collections. Beautiful. So I'm gonna disable this, and I will do the same
Okay,
here.
so that's gonna fetch after the action automatically.
Auto update
Only
linked
the
collections.
things that we changed, right?
Probably, I'm trusting Mail on this. Okay, let's see. Delete. Yes. Add. Oof. My ad is no longer working. How did I manage to break
The
my
ad is the
insert?
easy one.
Yeah. Wow. Let me see. Auto update linked. Return inserted rows. Mm,
Yeah, Mael is saying it's not fetching; it's only an update in the front end. Yeah,
Huh?
basically that means we're not going back to Supabase to ask for something that we already know changed, basically, and we only need to update the front end.
Okay. What is true when real time is enabled?
Why
And
is ad not working anymore?
yeah. Uh, let's see, because here I have auto update. Default to null. I don't want to default to null. Oh, okay.
It has
I'm
to.
okay to default to yes. I changed my mind very quickly when I read the tooltip. Product ID. Yeah, that's correct.
Maybe we were doing a mix
This
up with
is
the what Mael is telling us, the return insert a row.
returns, right? It's the return minimal returns only row IDs.
He's saying could set return fields as guided. Could try
Okay,
to could try
okay,
to
yeah.
return fields
That
as
was
guided.
my next uh, try. Error
Refa-
duplicate key value. Okay, duplicate key value. What does that mean? I can't remember. Oh, I think it's because we no, I think it's because we it already exists in Supabase and we didn't refetch. Wait, uh,
yeah, it was a mistake with the fetching, basically.
yeah. So okay, I'm removing. Now I'm adding. Okay, it's fixed.
Do it
It's I
again.
think it's well.
Click it again. Please don't break.
See, can do
Okay,
it all day long.
perfect. And in this case, it's not going back to Supabase to fetch it and waste resources and
Yeah,
time. So it's just changing it in the front end.
yeah. Well, I feel pretty clever right now. um. All right. I think we've done a pretty good job. Do you want to add a top bar quickly?
A top bar as in a login
And
user and navigation.
like add the search and a little profile pic. I don't know what do you want to do?
Mm,
I feel like we've done what we set out to do.
yeah, it almost killed us, but we managed to do it.
My little emoji, and I'll let you do the the green thing. How do you? Oh, how do you just
Me,
draw a line like
I
that?
just literally draw a line. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
yay.
Yay! Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, we did everything we set out to do. Is there anyone in the chat that needs help with something or that wants us to look at something? We can we can
Mile
I,
is saying,
would
sorry,
yeah. No, no, go ahead. What is Mel
it's
saying?
only returning the data of your new row and updated your collection with the new data.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we were saying. Okay, perfect.
What we could do is we could add the 1, 2, 3. I think that's something nice. That's a little conditional. So instead of just having the product name, we can rank
Oh, like
them.
the counting? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
something we
counting
can
or
do.
it's actually not counting. It's actually are you thinking about doing like a real time if he has more votes it's going directly to first place automatically?
No, I was not. Do not
No, I didn't
overpromise.
say that. I did
I
not
would,
say that.
but I
Let's
was not
forget
planning
about
to
it.
do that. But I could do it fairly quickly. It's just,
I don't even know how
um,
to tackle that. Like the
really.
logic for it?
Yeah, we can give it
Uh
a try. Actually, we can give it a try. But let me just show first quickly what I yeah. Let's give it a try. So here, what I'm gonna do in the products, I am going to sort. Let's see. Can I do that? No, I cannot. I cannot
why not?
because it's I don't have the votes in this collection.
You know what? I think you have to create a view in Supabase that's gonna do
Either
the
that,
counting.
either that, or I go into advanced mode. And I don't know if I had the
Yeah.
brains to go into advanced mode right now.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that if we because we had a hard time with the votes, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was gonna ask if it could be easier for us to do a view merge on Supabase or to do an advanced like fetching of both collection, both both collections inside of one. If that's gonna help somehow, or just make it difficult.
I think I'm actually thinking no, the advanced won't work because the advanced wants some. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of need to think
Uh,
about it a little bit.
I had a project where I was trying to do like a social media app. Uh,
Yeah,
1 year ago, 2 years ago, and I remember that I had to create
I think the easiest is
a
a
view.
view. I
Yeah,
think
a
that's
view.
the easiest. Yeah, I think it's probably the like most maintainable way of doing it would be a super base view. But I actually don't know how to do that. I haven't done it in ages. I think I did it once 2 years ago. But I think that would be the best way of doing it. Maybe it's something we can look into for next week. Could be fun.
Keep working on this
Um,
and trying to figure out those extra
yeah,
features.
yeah, the kind of extra mile. But before that, I mean, at least what we could, uh, what, because we can still,
You could always ask AI. It's like, I'm not ready to break
yeah,
my
yeah,
project if it doesn't work, and then you just go
it's
ahead.
okay. I can
Please,
revert.
like, sort, not filter. No, yeah,
Yeah,
sort my
yeah,
collection.
sort by descending
Number of votes. Yeah, descending number of votes.
number of total votes per product. And I wonder, does it help if I don't know what, how do I select? I want to select this product list. There we go. Let's see.
Maybe it's going to. Do you think it has the capacity to create a view?
In supervise?
Yeah.
Ooh, uh, I haven't heard anyone mention that on the team, but maybe they're full of good surprises. So it is so stressful when you see everything. Oh, updated. Okay, well,
It
please
just
revert.
broke. But why is
Please
it?
revert. Thank you very much. Whew,
Yeah,
that was
I
scary.
don't think it did.
Uh,
It did anything basically.
um, how would I tackle it in no code?
Yeah. So for anyone that's trying to follow what we're thinking, the
Mm,
thing is, what we're after, the number we're after, is that thing that we counted manually. Like, for each one of our products, how many votes do we have?
yep.
And I think the smartest way, but we don't have the time to delve in that right now. But Supabase, which is our backend, has the ability to kind of do that counting by itself, right?
Yep.
It's gonna do what we were trying to do here manually. It does in 2 or 3 lines of SQL, something like that, and it returns like a new table. Can I say that? It is called view, right? But it
Yeah.
returns like a some sort of new table with all of the filters that we want, and in that table it does counting. Like, this product has seven votes. This product has 4 votes. And as soon as we have that, we're able to fetch it and do a sorting directly through that new table that we created. That's called a view inside of
I, I,
Supabase. It's super powerful,
oh,
but
yeah.
I
I
haven't
don't even
used
know
it in
where it
like
is.
years.
Yeah.
I remember Supabase had an AI by itself that could help
Yeah,
you with
yeah.
that.
Maybe help us. It's just I don't even know where it is in the menu.
Like, where do I even begin?
Advisor.
You're a
Oh no.
hundred percent right. Where were I'm searching too.
Oh, database probably extensions.
It changed,
No,
right?
I haven't tried in ages. Maybe it's a new table that and we decided to view. No.
No, I think it's actually a new. It creates a new table in a new schema that's called view. If I'm not
Ah,
mistaken. But how do we get there? Uh,
where's their
there's
AI?
the SQL editor. There's the assistant.
Project metadata is not shared. How can I assist you? I want to create a view. Yes, of course. The name of the view. What is the name of the view? Um, votes per product.
Yeah, Fabian says in Superbase you need to go to the SQL editor.
Mm,
So directly into the editor. That's where you're gonna find the AI.
okay. So this is a different thing. Okay.
Yeah, this is just like
SQL editor.
there we go. I know that's your
No, no,
close
it
the
is the
chat.
SQL edit. It is the
Okay.
but it's just that it's also open here. So I think I can. Can I talk to it here? Because
No,
here I'm not gonna.
close your right chat. I think
Okay.
there we go.
Now what? You want me to
Um,
write SQL? What have you
no, no,
gotten
no,
me
no, no,
into,
no, no.
Agustin?
I think it has AI there. No, SQL
Yeah, yeah,
editor.
but I, I think I was in
Um,
there. No, it's not the same. Or
no,
current chat, view chats.
there are templates, private. It's all figuring out things.
Okay, add
Where's the
view.
AI?
Boom. Add view. Add view. Okay, well that wasn't helpful.
Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
helpful. It just has like the first. But where is the AI? It should be a big button.
no, but I think it's the chat. I think it's the assistant I was in. I, I would imagine. I don't know. I well.
Okay, I
Okay.
found the template as well, but it's not
Okay.
helpful without.
I wanna create. Well, create view. Actually, you know what?
No,
Wait.
Fabian is saying you're right. You need to ask the AI again in the chat box. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you
Which?
had it open
Which? Okay.
like there. Now try again.
Okay. Create view product view as I want.
Just say
Oh,
create a view that counts the amount of.
create a view called product view that lists all the products um all in one and sums the number
Let me see.
of votes in the per product in the votes table. I don't know if that's clear, but that's how I would express myself. So if the AI can't handle it,
Can't.
seem there's no exist. Oh,
But we
for the
had.
I need to
Yep.
confirm the structure of the products and votes. Can you please provide? Well, you should have this information in your context,
Yeah, I
dude.
think this is just the
Like,
chat. This is not the SQL
yeah, yeah,
builder.
yeah, probably. Okay, let's just we'll
Yeah,
think
let's
about it
leave it
and
there.
yeah. But it's I actually really want to learn. What I wanted to show is just like here it would be super easy, like um or maybe not. Yes, it would be. So here we can say index plus one plus no, sorry. Index plus what am I doing? Yes, index plus one plus plus. And there we go. So it's just that I wanted to add the little one, two, three, based on the order of the. It's based on the index, so the order where the product is in our collection. So that's why it makes a lot of sense to create the view in Supabase, so that way, it can be reordered. And if, for example, this has three votes, so if it should be index zero, it should be at the top of the view of the collection, and then it would automatically have the one. And so here, what I did is I just, I'm on the current item. I say index. I say plus one because, developers start counting from zero. So I
Zero.
just
Yeah.
add plus one. And then this is a concatenation. I use plus for concatenation. And then I just put the little dot and a space in between strings. And then I bind to the title. Another way of doing it would have been to use the concatenate formula, which is here. And so the concatenate formula is just you you can add as many texts as you want. So here we're gonna say, okay, the index
Hmm.
plus one, and then we're gonna say this, and then we're gonna say that.
Okay.
So those are two different ways of getting the same result.
So Joyce, Fabian said again that we can probably add a column to the products table and
Yeah,
increment it with every vote, like a number, like one, two,
yeah,
three,
we
four,
could
five.
do that. We could definitely do that as well. That is true.
That's
We could do
faster
that.
without us having to go to the view, right? So just create a
Yeah,
numerical value, and every time someone votes, increase the number. Every time someone unvotes,
yeah.
decrease that number.
For me, yes, it would be easy, but I don't think it would be the best practice in terms of web development because you would kind of be duplicating data and potentially having errors. So, for example, if there was, if there was a bug at some point where if you remove a vote, it removes the vote, but it forgets to do -1 in the
Yeah,
product table. So it would definitely be easier to do it that way. Like we could do it right away that way, but I believe it's not like a web development best practice. But yeah, 'cause
yeah.
then it's
No,
less
no,
maintainable. But
I
yeah, for
agree
sure,
with
it's
you.
a great idea. I mean, we could definitely do it that way. And like if I needed to like push this app in production on Sunday, I would totally do it that way. Like if I was in a rush and I would do it that way to make sure I have something and then make sure that once I've met my deadline, I refactor the code and go back to best practices. So um it's like with the button thing. I really wanted to do a button for accessibility, but we weren't able to. I need to look into that. Um but yeah, sometimes you just have to push forward and get it done. So definitely a great idea. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, thank you, Fabian. Uh, so yeah, I think we're almost done
Yeah,
experimenting with this project.
let's see. I want to see. Okay, one thing we can do is I mean, I guess we could have a hover effect, and then it's just the icon that's orange. We could do that, but I mean, I don't think it's you're gonna. We've kind of shown how to do it already. Oh no, we didn't do the hover effect. I guess we could do that. What do you think? Should we do one last thing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll just remove yeah, I'll remove this because we're actually not gonna use it. We'll keep yeah, and we will have it on hover. So here I'm gonna select the where I want the hover state and just add a hover state. And when the user hovers over it, I instead of gray, I will want it to be blue. And one thing that's important with hover, so when you create the hover state, you usually want to add a transition here and also in default have it here. It's just so that it's a little bit smoother and um, when you start getting used to web design, you will notice it. You may not notice it if it's your first time building something, but it's kind of the small things that make a big difference in terms of like just look and feel. A bit like when you open a select, the little carrot just goes
Yeah.
up. Small things like that. So now if I go, so I'm just gonna zoom in. If I hover, it changes color, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the categories. We'll do the categories as well next time. All right.
All right, and we're done with our software. I'm joking. It was awesome. I like doing trying new stuff. And thank you everyone for participating. Fabian, Mael, Toby, Will, Roberto, Arnaldo. Thank you
Yeah, it was
guys.
awesome to have you. And yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I'll let you decide what you want to do next week, but I know you're always eager to get the community's ideas for other projects. Because what have you built so far? So this is Product Hunt. I think we
We
did
built
the
a
Trello.
product hunt. We built a Kanban like Trello, and the
Trello, yeah,
first one was a learning path management,
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah. I
you
remember
can
that.
basically organize all of your tutorials.
Yeah,
And So yeah, the way we're working with these guys is, if you want to participate, first of all, in sharing and commenting like this, like right now, or join me or Joyce here in the camera view,
Yes.
you're free to do so in the next one. Also, we're always voting which one is the next feature or product we're going to be building. So inside of the community and in Twitter, we're going to be releasing a poll where you can vote. And so that's why we had, like, first the learning path and second the Trello, because those have been the most voted ones. And this time around we did the product hunt, because it was one that people were voting for several
Mm,
weeks now. And that's the thing, we're all trying to do it together. You give us, we're not here to teach, we're here to experiment with you guys, right? That's the
yeah,
idea
for
of
sure.
this event. And
And I
so far
love,
I
by the
think
way,
it's been super great. Yeah, Toby.
yeah, you mentioned like because Toby wanted the project to be shared afterwards, and feels like WeWeb needs more demo project. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it would be nice to have more templates. The real challenge is like with templates, because we don't know what backend people are using. Either we create templates with variables, but then you need to kind of um, yeah, remove those variables and add your own data, and it can be difficult. But yeah,
Yeah, because
it's on our
as you
minds, but
have seen,
it's
the
yeah,
the connection part, the backend part, is the hardest. Basically, it's like,
yeah,
not hardest, but you gotta kind of think about it a little longer. But maybe we can create
yeah.
templates
With the backend,
with
we did
local
that with yeah. So we have templates with local data and variables, but that's not ideal, because then you have to redo your backend. We have a couple of templates with Axano snippet, so that's quite cool because you can just create the database. And we have, I believe, a template with a Supabase boilerplate. So we give the SQL. So if you go into a new Supabase project, you just
paste
paste that
the yeah
SQL, boom, and that way, when you connect the Supabase project with a WeWeb template, everything, because it's the same name, so the bindings don't break, you know. But yeah, it can be a challenge, but something I think the UX is really something that we'll be focusing on. I mean, we're already started, but I think it's going to be a big focus for the product team in the coming weeks and month.
yeah. But we hear you guys. Thank you for the recommendation, and we'll do whatever we can to ease your experience with WeWeb, and to
Yep.
help you guys start creating awesome things. And also, when you create awesome things, which I have seen some of you guys in the office hours, Brazilians in the office hours are sharing, like, "Can you help me with this
Nice.
project?" And it's like, it's an amazing project. It's like, wow, just share it in the community, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And Toby, like, if you want to jump on office hours, or next time after Clone and Chill, if you want to jump on with Augustine, and yeah, feel free. We can also use these sessions. Like, you could be sharing your screen, and we could be guiding you through the build. That's
Yeah.
completely doable as well.
All right, Joyce, thank you so much for saving
Thank
my
you.
my skin this time
Uh,
around, that I was not
I
in my
hope the store.
studio.
I hope your house is okay.
Yeah, actually,
Everybody's safe, right?
yeah, no health risks. It's just that I just received a text that I'm gonna be without electricity until today at 9 p.m. So it's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
be 1 day and a half without
Wow.
electricity. So
Uh,
it's like, normal people are like, my fridge. Me, I'm like,
yeah.
my internet, my job.
For sure, for sure.
All
All
right,
right, well,
guys,
good luck.
and yeah,
Well, have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great weekend, Agustin.
yeah, you too. See ya, guys. See you in the community.
Yes. Bye.